Hey guys, we are the Barretts. We are a family of 4 and
this is our channel. Thanks for being here. Today's video is going to be a little insight on why and how we came up with our newest little boy's name, Miles Indy Barrett. Okay, it's a funny story. Our children are so different. With Carson, we actually went into the hospital with his name picked out. The whole pregnancy, I don't remember. Do you remember how long we knew?
We had his name for like a year and a half.
Yeah, we had his name before he even came. And with Miles, it was so different. We definitely did not know, and we tossed back and forth names for months and months, and we had no idea. And for a while, I thought he was a girl. Did you think he was a girl?
No, I didn't.
I thought he was a girl. I couldn't remember if we were. I had a girl name picked out from the very beginning, and I was so sold on it, but then it came to be a surprise for me that we were having a boy, and we had no idea. There were some names that we liked, but I'm really into unique names. And Brandon kind of laughed at me for some of those ones, but
yeah, I'm pretty simple when it comes to names. I don't have any preferences on how the name should be or what it should look like. It's just what the kid looks like.
Yeah. So I think we decided to go in after months of just talking. We settled. Brandon really wanted to settle on how many names? 3 names before we went to the hospital?
2 or 3.
He wanted at least 2 or 3 before we went to the hospital, and I was kind of like, we'll just know when he comes here. And I was thinking we were gonna be going in and just winging the whole situation, but we finally settled on 3 names going into the hospital, and we figured we had to meet him. We couldn't there was no vibe this time around that we just knew who he was, and so we went into the hospital with 3 different names. We went in with Miles,
Finn,
Atlas.
You gotta say the other one.
I was trying to figure out what it was. I was really thinking it was going to be Atlas, but when we saw him, I felt like Atlas was too much of a strong name for me. The meaning of names are really important, so I think that's part of the reason why I loved Miles. And it was so funny because in the hospital, we were looking at him and we were like, no, he's not a Miles. But like an hour or 2 before we left, I was like, he is so a Miles. The more and more I looked up his name, the character of his name was like, just represented mercy and peace, and I think there's a couple other names like love and tenderness, and what his name actually means is God's mercy. And I thought that was so evident just in looking at him and spending that first 24 hours with him, and through our labor, I just felt like it was the perfect suit for who he was. And how did we come up with his middle name? A lot of people ask me about how we came up with his middle name.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I think you came up with his middle name, but initially I just ended up Googling a few like middle names and tried to decide that way, but I think you decided the middle name, so.
Yeah, I think Brandon really.
Where did you get that?
I don't even remember. I think Brandon, most of the time when we were focused on a first name, he would always look up the first name and middle names that went with it. But I was the person that would just walk around throughout the day, and if I liked a name that I thought of on the spot, I would just write it. We share a notes app, or we share a notes folder that we can just like pop names in it, and it updates when we add new names. And so for Indy, I don't know, we listen to a lot of indie music, and I think the name kind of popped into my head because we love like music, and I thought it was, when I heard us talking about it in a conversation, I think I was just like, that is so cool, wouldn't that make a good name? And for a while I thought his name was going to be Indy. Like I thought the first name would be so cool for an Indy, but I felt like it wasn't right. But we knew once we set on Miles that it would be Miles Indy. I don't think we had another choice. There wasn't a lot of like middle names that went with Miles. Do you remember any?
I don't.
Because we tried like Miles Crew and Miles like Atlas to kind of like configure the names that we did like together. But was there any other?
No, I don't think so. I think we had like 2 or 3 middle names that kind of went, but I think we stuck with that one. It was pretty unique.
So with that being said, that is how Miles Indy's name came to be. It really is just a magical experience getting to know him and experience him over the time that we've been together, and I think every child is so different, but for me, the meaning of names is so, so important. It's so special, especially when you reference with them like who they are and the meaning behind their name. We've always loved Carson's name, and Carson's name actually means follower of Christ, which is super cool. So Carson's name actually is really special. We've always really liked making names unique as well. It's just kind of like something that makes them stand out. It's just different, it's special, and it's quirky. And so Miles we spelled with a Y instead of an I, which I thought was really fun, and Carson's name is spelled with a K. So that's kind of just how we cultivate our ideas of what we want to name our children, and we've always had a lot of just really special traits and unique characteristics of names, and again, just the meanings of names are always really important to me, and Brandon just likes how cool they are.
With that, we just want to thank you guys for being here, spending a minute to learn more about us and us sharing our family and our life. So if you enjoyed, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit that bell so you'll be notified when more videos come out.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.